here today. You may have been in the main hall. We had a bit of a chit chat earlier. I have with me Mr. Frankie Keeley. Now obviously, you know, frankly, there's a lot of old machines here, 2 strokes, 4 strokes, and not really being a spring chicken anymore. You know, a lot of these bikes, happy memories to you as well.
Yeah, you have a very good memory, and some of the bike we saw yesterday, I know quite well because it was a moment I started to follow the race. So there was a Chrysler yesterday from 1978. So that's what I mean. I am old.
Me neither. Okay, Frankie's going to be over on the stand. You see the dirt bike, happy dirt bike stand. Signing autographs, photographs, or any questions you may have, feel free to ask. Nothing too personal, but any nice questions, okay? Yeah. Thank you. When I'm cleaning windows. Right, now we've got a special. Good morning.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hit that nice again.
Now, it seems these days, everywhere I go, to work, to play, to watch, or to see anything, you're there. You're a busier man than I ever have been through my career, I think.
You know, that's right, Steve. I sure am. I'm getting all over the place now. I've been going to Europe, Spain, and knocking a few songs out and promoting the great film down with it. It's been a lot of fun, and I decided to come along today and annoy you again.
No, you're not annoying me, honestly. Now, obviously, what year is this thing anyway?
Well, it's 1926. It's the year of this particular bike, Steve. But the one in the film, I believe, was a 1928 flat tank AJS. When I set about recreating my tribute to No Limit, I did go for an AJS, but they're a little bit short supply. And the Model P Triumph was an identical sort of engine and fits the part, I think. I'm sure you'll agree. It's not a bad replica.
Yeah, no, sorry, mate. No, it fits the part perfectly. And obviously, this is all built by yourself.
Yeah, it's a shuffle and snap, and I built it myself. As it says in the film. Yeah, so it's basically it's made similar to what they used in the film. They used lino in the film, I believe, for the streamlining, and it's very similar material. So yeah, it goes well, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Bring it to an event like this, and I enjoy it very much.
And obviously, you know, various places, Goodwood, I've seen, and various other private occasions. Not just in this case, but something slightly different as well.
Oh yeah, I've been known to put a bowler hat on and sort of do a lap in an old car with a large friend of mine. Yeah, that's a lot of fun as well. But Shannon is a good fun, but I'm a big bike fan from an ex-racing club racing TZ350s and that, so my heart really is with the motorcycling side of things, and this is one way of keeping involved with the events, yeah.
So you said to me yesterday he's going to bring you ukulele.
Did I? I did, it's an instrument, yeah. Right, you want to two?
Here we go.
That pretty close.
Just don't ask me to play it.
How are we doing? Can you? What about there? Let's get there. So get out there. Can you hear it? I'll do a quick verse of TT races. Here come the team riding the TT races. Here the hopscotch victors of the top-notch aces. I've been riding all my life. I started quite small. I've ridden furry cycles, scooters and all. Hear the people cheer me when the thing is steering backwards. Down the hill I go at breakneck speed. See me coming down the street, winning folks on the pillion seat. So come along to see me riding in the TT race. With me gears in reverse, the other way round I'll finish first. So come along to see me riding in the TT race. Hey, thanks a lot.
Big hand, please. Big hand. Thank you very much for that.
Steve, I said about yesterday about your jacket. I said, it's a lovely jacket, but what are you going to pocket today here? What's this?
I'd like to say there was somebody else's back to the mine. Thank you. What's that? Okay, next up, a 1989 TZ250.
Hey, thanks.
Right, lovely, tidy little TZ250. Tell us a little bit about this machine, mate.
It's a 1989 TZ250W reverse cylinder, which is a little bit unusual. We only made these for 3 years, and this is the middle year, which I think is the best one, but that's my opinion. So a little bit different, with the carburetors at the front, exhaust coming out the back. Yes, great bike. I got it from an ex-Kenny Roberts mechanic in California. So it came over without all the usual Japanese corrosion, which is good. Restored it this year. Guy, good friend of mine, Andy Allen, Plastic Coatings has done the wheels. And a good friend of yours, Martin Jepson, did the paintwork. Yeah, you had his Honda. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I use it at classic events. I took it to Spa this year, Oliver's Mount. Yeah, it's a good bike. I have this and some Hondas. This is quite different to the Honda. More exciting to ride than the Honda. The Honda's different. This screams and more. Yeah, it's just more. It's a really good fun bike to ride.
And you ride it yourself, just parading at various different events, yeah. And obviously Spa being one of my favourites, to be honest. It's probably, I was never lucky enough to race at Spa on it was pretty much off the calendar as I started in the world endurance scene. So you know, you hear lots of stories, and even Steve Hislop blessing me to stay with his favourite circuit, and what a fabulous place. And Eau Rouge is just something special. I'm lucky enough to go there and ride some Suzuki, some 500s with electrical Steve Wheatman, a lovely man. And you know, it's a fabulous circuit to ride, and amazingly, even though Barry Sheen used to pretty much put the TT down for his own reasons, and fair enough, he still holds the fastest ever average lap around the old Spa course on the road circuit, which at this event you can go and ride around the old circuit on the police escort, and mate, the trees are still there from when he rode round. And a brave man.
I've ridden this one round the old track on that parade, and it's a real eye-opener. You know, how the hell they got around at that speed is beyond me, because it really is a dangerous, scary place. Yeah, it's really, yeah.
At that speed, obviously, on the old tyres, and a long time ago.
All 2 strokes, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, mate. Let's have a struck up and listen to you go. That really does sound quite different to, you know, your kind of normal RS250. When you said it's quite different to riding the Honda, do you mean it's quite aggressive?
Yes, it is. It's revvier, it's probably got a little bit more top end than the Honda. The Honda's a bit more bottom end, a bit talkier, and sounds flat in comparison to this. It's discreet, yeah, so it really is exciting to ride. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
I'm not going to do a song, by the way.
No, we don't want you running.
Yeah, just on the top. That's it. Great. Okay, cheers. Thanks, mate.
1985. Rector, one of Freddie Spencer's obviously very famous RS250s. Another min bike of yours. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, there's a bit of a story behind this bike because it came about going back to the 2010 Aston Centennial TT, which Ferry Brewer organised, and he wanted Freddie to ride a Rockman's 500 and a 250. Martin Jones supplied the RS 500, and they used my Catalora 250 with some green number boards. And I said, well, you know, it's not representative of what Freddie rode. But Ferry said, look, let's just get him on a Rockman's 250. And then after that event, there was a lot of interest in Freddie parading the 250 and 500 together. So that prompted us to actually build a dedicated replica of Freddie's 85 RS 250 factory bike. And I've basically sourced a lot of different RS parts from the late 80s to get the right look of the bike. And we actually made the Comstar wheels ourselves. Back then all of HRC's race bikes ran Comstars. So I bought a pair of NS400 road bike Comstar wheels. Stamped on the spokes is "do not disassemble." So we immediately proceeded to drill all the bolts out and strip the spokes out. And then we spun the outer alloy rims in two halves and welded them together, and then cast the inner hubs, remachined all of the special bolts. And because the problem was the road Comstars were very narrow, I think 110, 120, and we needed to get a 160 on the rear. So Freddie's been riding this 250 now for the last 2 years all around Europe at Spa, Dijon, Paul Ricard, Jarama, Imola. And we've got a full programme with him next year as well, so he enjoys riding it. He's still flexible enough because it's quite a tight seating position on this compared to the 500, but yeah, he's knee down everywhere and wide open throttle, and it's great to see. Yeah, obviously, you know, Freddie speaks for itself what he's achieved, obviously, in his career. Not a massive career, I wouldn't say, lengthwise, but achieved an amazing amount. And I was lucky enough to meet him at Suzuka actually when I raced there, and he was big mates with a guy called Jason Pridmore. And I got down, mate, that bloke can talk. Freddie can talk. He's in a relaxed arena and a lovely, lovely man. Yeah. Yeah, I think Freddie now, where he's actually the Aston event in 2010 was after he finished his racing school in Vegas, and he was just coming over to Europe to do some of these classic race and parades, and through that process he's got more and more into talking about his career, where he never really spoke much about it back in the day, but now he's getting more talkative, and he's relaxed, and he's enjoying life, and he's just enjoying being back involved in all the motorcycling scene, and it's really interesting to hear what he was doing during his career, and some of the interesting facts about the racing that he had, which was all action and pretty competitive. So yeah, it's a nice bike. What Freddie wants us to do is try and find a V4 for him, but that's maybe a bridge too far. Yeah, I'd say, you know, obviously Freddie's a big name still with Honda. He's an ambassador for Michelin tyres as well, and spends an awful lot of time not just around Europe but around the world. And can we get this bike running? Thank you. How do you keep your bike so clean?
They're on track every day. You will not read.
Thanks very much, mate. Talking to GPs, who knows what the result is for? Hold on, put your hands up if you taped it. Right. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty, everybody. And I'm hungry.
You got disqualified.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have an F1 750. Look at that. That's a Ducati, obviously. Good morning, mate.
Good morning.
Yeah, basically I raced right through the 70s and 80s on Ducatis, singles and then bevel twins and then belt drive twins. And then we had a big break, of course, as we concentrated on the business just building Ducatis for customers. But I decided to come back to full-time racing in 2011 with the CRMC, the Classic Racing Motorcycle Club, which caters for this type of bike, which is actually a post-classic racing bike up to 1986, and decided to build it from scratch. You could never buy these machines from Ducati. You could only buy the cantilever monoshock type bikes that we used to race in the early 80s. This is a rising rate machine, which was a factory-only machine, and I always admired them, you know, when Ducati had them. And put one together early part of 2011 and raced right through. Had a big crash at Clearways, Brands Hatch, which just about finished me off, but managed to walk away from it yet again and proceeded to finish second in the championship. So there we go. It's just a tribute to Ducati that these bikes are extremely reliable. A lot of people think that you know, Japanese bikes are reliable, but this bike cost me, apart from the crash, one shim all year. Yeah, in a full season's racing. Oil and tyres, of course, but technically one shim.
So you say pretty much this model was a factory-only chassis, and what riders were dominant with these bikes in that time?
Italian champion Walter Villa. And also we had, of course, Tony Rutter, who did ride this type of bike in the last part of his career. I think he rode the Rising Rate once, which was Isle of Man, 1985, if I remember rightly. Yeah, so they were quite successful as a two-valve air-cooled motor.
So obviously these days, this bike now, still ridden in anger very much.
Well, after 2011, I went back to concentrating on the business, having a few years off, and I just parade the bike. But I ain't finished yet. We should be back again, and we're still trying to win a championship in CRMC, so there's still life in the old dog yet.
Mate, parading, you know what, I can't, I'm not the kids. What a load of bullshit, parading. Everybody's still as competitive as they ever flipping were parading. So I went to Spa, I'm talking about Spa, I went there the first time a couple of years ago, and first time I've been to the circuit, and you kind of look at Eau Rouge and look at it and think, fourth gear, it's like looking at Bray Hill. Fourth gear maybe. Anyway, it ends up being sixth gear on a Ken Roberts Jr.'s 500. And so I'm kind of learning the track, following Wayne Gardner and Christian Sauron, and my bike was faster than theirs. So I pulled out to pass, and I thought, no, I'll sit behind for a little while and just kind of learn the lines a little bit. And then a couple of laps later, I pulled out and passed Sauron down the straight after Eau Rouge. And he come to a big fast chicane on the right and the left. Sauron comes steaming past me, elbows out, she barges me out of the way, just puts me in my place. That's a parade.
Over in England, we sometimes have a bit of fun with Steve Parrish and one or two of the other old works riders on their very powerful two-strokes, and they are quite surprised just how fast one of these things can go, if you tweak the throttle properly.
Okay, can we hear her running, please?
She's not too cold now. Are you all ready?
Oh, so if I should start.
you very much. Thank you.
You're 7. Next then. Next one, yeah.
Good morning. Afternoon, sorry. Right, now we've got a lovely TZ350. Says on my sheet here, race to the Isle of Man, many...
And Manx.
And Manx, sorry.
And the F2 World Championship.
And F2.
Yeah, that's what we bought this bike in 1981 from Dennis Trollope Fowler's, brand new, and it was an XT Williams 350G engine. We rode it in the Manx GP and finished third in the newcomers after a big long layoff having a crash in Donington. So that was the first race with the Manx. And then the following year we did the TT and decided to do the rest of the Formula 1 World Championship, Formula 1 and Formula 2 World Championships using 2 engines. You've got 2 TZ engines. You could run a 400 with a 352 in the Formula 1. And as you said on here, we raced it up from 1988 and the Formula 2 version finished. But the best result was in 87 with Ulster, finished 10th on it. And the same year this Strong got killed and they stopped the event. So it's, we carried on racing this just at a TZ. And at the last race I did was went back to Sport Francorchamps, where we've just been talking about, and rather than the RCVG. And that was after 20 years. And it was when I started thinking about it, I went to watch it live on, and Ian Simpson and Bill was there. And I said, I've got one of these bikes, and he said, get it out, and although I'll take it out to Sport, found Eric Solop, and got it all sorted, and I thought, what have I done after 20 years? So we managed to get round, and I was 10 seconds slower than I was 20 years on it. And I passed John Whedon, who was a former world champion on one of these Formula 2 bikes. It's I passed 6 on the last lap, so got me up to 17 out of 55. So it's going well.
So obviously back in the day these were a phenomenal machine, and of course, you know, you raced on all the roads. What was the TT your favourite, or was the Ulster probably your favourite?
I like both of them really. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've liked the Ulster. I've done the Northwest, not on one of these, on a big Ducati, but you got a very fast bike. At the time there was not too many chicanes in, but I did like the Ulster Grand Prix. I got on really well over there, and I've probably had some of the best results, as I said yesterday over there. So it's, but then again, I got no sponsorship. I did most of the work myself on the engines. If I had put on that Manchester engine in this, I would have had far superior results and got the money back. But that was the way it went.
You see, I was the same at the Northwest 100. I always had the slow spikes, but you know, it's just the way it goes sometimes.
I went all the way to a Red in 1986 and then a GSXR 750 for the Formula 1. And we took this with a Formula 2 engine. And it's a long way down to a Red from England. We never qualified because we couldn't get the silver red to seal on it. And then we went the following week, we were back up in Villarreal in northern central Portugal. There was no race for this class at the time then, and we qualified for the Formula 1, so that's not too bad.
Okay, can we hear a running, please? Thank you.
I'll give you a leg over this one, Steve. Okay.
flipping gears on one side and everything.
One thing I was able to do, fortunately, I could lift or right gear change in most of the meetings. Whether it was one up or one down, so that was to me an advantage really, because the hard part about riding these in England is, you know, especially at Cadwell, at all the wrong corners on their changing gear. Left-hand gear change is stupid, but road surface didn't matter, did it really? Yeah.
No, it's difficult as well jumping because you go into autopilot when you're racing. You know, I've just been to the Goodwood Revival. I rode one of Fred Warmsley's bikes, and fortunately Fred's got a good conversion to put it in for me, normal gear change, whereas Kevin Swans, unfortunately, it bit his ass in a big way going into the chicane when he stamped on the back brake instead of changing gear. But, you know, it doesn't matter how good you are, when you're on autopilot in race mode, it just catches you out. Thank you very much. Okay, next we've got a CB 350 Honda Case 4, used for real road racing. Real road racing.
I don't think it is, Steve. You know that, but I mean, it's bloody fall off, isn't it? Switch elbow with it. Yeah, well, I was racing in Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, and at Manx with a G50. Right, and I wanted a second ride because just as much to get there, not too hard, and there's a long one, yeah. I had an Air Mackie which I use at Manx, but I always felt it was a bit fragile. And a mate of mine said, well, I'm plugging my K4. I said, all right, I'll buy it one. So we did the deal, was back to Christmas to fetch it. He says, there's a problem on. I said, what's that? It's upset chassis. I said, oh, all right. I said, doesn't matter, I'll make one. So, just got on, took the tin shed and forgot all about it until about sort of 6 or 8 weeks before mine. I thought, bloody hell, I've got to do about that. So I'll never do it. So I went and saw Steve over at Spontan Engineering. Nice, good engineer, but. And after a lot of cussing and swearing, I think, which was absolutely normal, right then, he agreed to do it. So about 3 weeks later, I didn't have chassis yet, but no, it's 4 weeks ago, mate. I'm on boat in a fortnight, right? He says, oh, bloody hell, I better get cracking, aren't I? And me and my mate went to pick it up, and it's still warm. So I just raised it up, right? So after a lot of grief and that, we stuck it together. First time I rode it without rails. And it built it in jig and speed at the 250. So we knew it was already pointed. And did all that, no problem. Next time, putting the fuel in to what I thought would do 2 laps. Going on veranda, around our last corner out veranda, run out of fuel. Pop both pistons. Right, I'm covered in oil from head to toe. Stopped at Blackpool, goes across the road to Martin. I'm going up and down grassy, it looked like a dog with the end, trying to get this bloody R off. And anyway, when it come, I went to saw my mate he'd got one. And I scrounged the barrel off him, I went and got it forward and scrounged some piston. And we did race and it were alright like that. So it were a professionally built engine. And my mate, he wouldn't do me like it. He knew nothing about it, it was a joy, it was a good ride. And when I picked up, he said, you no need to touch that engine. There's done 1 lap at final one, that's all. Thanks, last year. Just a no head glove on it, just bursting the music on. You know, so anyway, it's a good professional crank and everything. But it's vibrated that much, you got bloody one finger that you've done 4 laps of it. So I thought, we're glad to this. So I took crank out and got another crank, lightened it and polished rods and whatever, and it's just smooth it out now.
So what actual year is that motor?
The getting to the regulations, I think it's 68, they have to be. But that's probably a later engine. But the actual first one was 68. And it's typical of that time of year, the engines were massively over-engineered. You know, so like that, I had that dyno and it made about 47, 48 brake horsepower, where the original was making 37. Yeah, so, but they just got engaged on stuff.
See, it cracks me up because you talk about a TT and you talk about different corners. I ain't got a clue what any of the corners are called.
Now,
Never remember.
well, now, that's how it is at TT. It's a ground mounted course, like, and there's a bit you like, a bit you don't like, wouldn't it? And you just don't look forward to going around the bit you don't like, do you? Well, you used to always do me. You were flying into Balaf and you forgot you're going into Balaf and you got to go down to basically the bottom gear to go over a bridge, hadn't you? So sometimes I ride there a bit quicker than I look.
Okay, let's have a fired up, mate. Let's have a listen to it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tell you what, I bet the Dixie got sore head this morning, all that celebrating last night. It was his birthday apparently. Young Sam. Hey mate, you okay? Right Sam, tell us a little bit about your 125.
Well, it's a Yamaha AS1 engine with